Thank you. This is Dick Hammer, and welcome to the Stateliner Sports Network and StatelinerSports.com, brought to you by the Rothman Institute Orthopedics and the Russo Law Offices of Phillipsburg. The Stateliner Sports Network is proud to bring you Phillipsburg High School Wrestling live all season from the pit. The historic wrestling tradition at Phillipsburg is highlighted by their over 900 wins and 19 team state championships. Join us this season right here at StatelinerSports.com to follow all the action as the Stateliners bid for their 20th state team title. All of the live hold-by-hold action on Stateliner Sports is brought to you by legendary broadcasters Mike Moore and Jim Meglick.
From the brand new Phillipsburg High School Gymnasium on the campus of Phillipsburg High School in Lopatcong Township, New Jersey, StatelinerSports.com proudly presents Phillipsburg High School Wrestling. Tonight, the Stateliners, the state's number 6 team in the NJ.com poll, play host to the 10th-ranked Crusaders of Bound Brook. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Proud to be with you for another season of Stateliner Wrestling, and happy to be joined again by Jim Meglick. Together, we will bring you all the hold-by-hold action in tonight's matchup. Tonight's matchup is brought to you by the Rothman Institute, a worldwide leader in orthopedics and official orthopedic partner of the NJSIAA. Visit RothmanInstitute.com. By Russo Law Offices, 633 Belvedere Road in Phillipsburg. Proud to support Stateliner Athletics. Visit RussoLawLLC.com. Considering buying or selling your home? Contact Tara Butler at Remax Supreme for all your real estate needs. Call Tara direct at 908-319-2447. By Ahart, Frinzy & Smith, recognized as one of the leading insurance agencies in the United States. Find out more at afsinsurance.com. By Urco Community Federal Credit Union, with offices on Hillcrest Boulevard in Phillipsburg and at 2240 Northampton Street in Easton. By Open Mic, for exclusive coverage of the Stateliners and the entire Hunterd and Warren, Sussex area, follow Mike Weileman's blog at mikeopen.blogspot.com. And by Welcome to the Pit, a history of Phillipsburg wrestling is available. Order yours by calling 908-283-4342. Phillipsburg comes into the match with a record of 2-0 on the season in dual meets. The Stateliners own victories over Del Valle 35-30 and Raritan last night 35-22. Bound Brook comes in at 3-2. The Crusaders beating Hunterd Central 39-30. They lost to Del Barton 27-26. Beat West Deptford 37-34. Kingsway 46-27. And lost to Delsey 37-30. The Crusaders are coming in tonight with a big handicap. They have no one weighed in at 106, 120, 126, and 132. They will forfeit 4 bouts to Phillipsburg tonight. They have weighed in 13 wrestlers, but will only be competing in 10 weight classes. Right now, everyone is standing here at the Phillipsburg High School Gymnasium for the singing of our national anthem. Phillipsburg senior Juliana Sweeney singing our national anthem tonight. As public address announcer Ed Mancinelli gets set to announce the wrestlers, we will do it for you as well. We will start at 106 pounds tonight. Bound Brook with no one weighed in there. For Phillipsburg, it'll be junior Cullen Day, 8 and 5. 113, Mark Venson for Bound Brook, a freshman, 5 and 7. For Phillipsburg, Travis Jones, a sophomore, 7 and 4. No one weighed in at 120 for Bound Brook, where Phillipsburg will have Tyrus Manley, a senior, 2 and 3. No one weighed in for Bound Brook at 126. That's where Phillipsburg will have sophomore Cody Harrison, 4 and 2. At 132, no one weighed in for Bound Brook. And the state liners there will have sophomore Kyle Tino, 4 and 4. 138 for Bound Brook, either Robert Cleary, a senior, 13 and 3, or sophomore Carlos Ugaldi, 3 and 4. Against either Colin Emery of Phillipsburg, a sophomore, 0 and 4, or junior Josh Ramos, 1 and 2. 145, Joe Casey for Bound Brook, a junior, 13 and 4. For the state liners, either junior Brian Meyer, 10 and 5, or junior Lance Wissing, 0 and 2. At 152, Stefan Glasgow for Bound Brook, a senior, 9 and 1, or senior Matt Duarte, 3 and 7, against Meyer, or Jason Zinsmeister, a sophomore, 2 and 5. 160, Nazareth Saveda for Bound Brook, a senior, 0 and 2, against Phillipsburg junior Shamir Broaders, 1 and 3. 170, either Makai Lewis, a defending state champion, a senior, 15 and 0 for the Crusaders, or a senior Travis Hayes, 8 and 3, against Phillipsburg sophomore Austin Roth, 1 and 6. 182, David Ugaldi, a sophomore, 0 and 2, or George Walton, a senior, 13 and 2, against Phillipsburg senior Dan Fisher, 4 and 2. 195, I think Walton will end up there to face Andrew Horan of Phillipsburg, a senior, 12 and 3. 220, Mike Borgia for Bound Brook, a senior, 4 and 8, against Phillipsburg senior state runner-up Robert Malise, 8 and 2. And at 285, Jervy Sistrunk of Bound Brook, a sophomore, 12 and 3, against Phillipsburg senior Justin Caraballo, 4 and 5. So Jim, illness has deprived the Crusaders of one wrestler tonight. That is sophomore Sean Snodgrass, who 1 and 7 on the season, but will not be out there tonight. And the Crusaders, we were talking just a couple of minutes before we went on the air, facing a big uphill climb. Coach Sean Cleary, in his 5th year, says that if things still go right for them out on the mat, that Bound Brook can pull this out. And that, we certainly can't imagine forfeiting 4 weights to Phillipsburg and coming out on top.
And I can't imagine this capacity crowd would ever give Bound Brook a chance with 4 forfeits. I mean, if it ever happened, I think the new gymnasium here would come tumbling down. But there's a lot of quality wrestlers on both teams. But yet we don't expect many quality matchups tonight. We expect the top echelon of wrestlers on one team to go against the middle echelon of the other team. That's just the way we see it right now. We'll know shortly as referee Barry Jackson tosses the coin. It's going to be won by Bound Brook.
Now that's one thing that Coach Cleary said they're going to need in a lot of matches with the forfeits. So Bound Brook has won the flip. I would imagine they want to control 45 so they can get Casey against Brian Meyer. We'll see if that turns out to be right. All right, at 106, Phillipsburg is going to send out sophomore Luke Harden to collect the forfeit. Barry Jackson will raise his hand. 6-0 Phillipsburg. So now we go to 113. Mark Venson, a freshman, 5 and 7. And for Phillipsburg, it will be Cullen Day, who will go up, a sophomore, 7 and 4. State liners in their garnet singlets with gray and white trim. The Crusaders in white with orange and black trim. So Day, who weighed in Benson weighs 113.6, Day 106.1, so he is going to give up a little weight. Benson is the taller of the two, and that means that Travis Jones will go up for Phillipsburg to 120. No advantage here. We have wrestled 35 seconds. Neither wrestler with a shot. Day shoots in on the right leg, picks up that leg behind the knee. Day circles at the edge, locked around the upper body, trying to pull the legs in, and Barry Jackson says they are off the mat, no advantage. Dave Post, Stateliner coach, will shed the sport coat with 1:07 to go in the first bout being wrestled. Stateliners lead the match 6-0. Benson tries to tie up the wrists of Day right in the center of the Phillipsburg mat. Down to 45 seconds to go here in a scoreless first. Good crowd on hand at the Stateliner gym. Off the mat, again, no advantage, with a capacity crowd here of 2,350. Double the size of the pit. Benson tries to snap down on the head of Day. Final 30 seconds here in a scoreless first. Day closest to a takedown, tries, again dives in on the legs, and a stalling warning against Mark Benson. First warning of the night. Just under 20 seconds to wrestle here, scoreless first. Benson trying to snap down on the head of Day. Final 10. Benson looked for a trip, couldn't get it. And the first period will end scoreless here at 1:13. Choice is Benson's. He will go underneath to start the second.
So, Mike, you look around here at the new gymnasium. What would you estimate the crowd out here tonight? I've got my thought. I'm thinking somewhere around 1,700.
It's going to say we're over 15. Benson tries to sit out, now stands. Day picks him up, brings him back down. Day wants to ride on the back of Benson. Pulls, looks inside for the right wrist. Benson tries to tie up that right hand of Day. Benson trying to struggle to his knees. They're near the edge of the mat, right in front of our StatelinerSports.com microphones. Across from the Phillipsburg bench, Coach Post shouts in instructions to Day. 40 seconds gone, trying to work a hazard tilt. Day trying to get out, and it's got the back points, 2 count from referee Barry Jackson. Then Benson trying to spin around for a reversal of his own. Day spinning right with him. They're off the mat neutral, but it's 2-1 Cullen Day on the back points. So Day got the 2 back points and gives up an escape, and it's 2-1.
And he did a good job not giving up the reversal there. Day just came right out, faced him then, gave up the escape, and now we're just under a minute to go in the second period. Day leads 2-1.
Missed on a shrug. Again, right in the center of the mat. Day in on the right leg behind the knee. Benson trying to sprawl. Hand and a wrist locked behind that knee as Day picks up the right leg. Picks him up, drops him down, gets the takedown, and he's got some back points coming. Trying to squirm off the mat is Benson, but Day has a 5 or 4 point play on the takedown and the back points with 15 seconds to wrestle here in the second. Trying to tilt him, trying to turn Benson to his left. Off the mat they go. Back points for Day, and he leads 6-1 in the 4 point play.
Coach Post came out of his chair on that 4 point play by Day. Gave him a loud applause across the gym. 4 point play makes it 6-1 Day. 5.3 seconds to go in the second. It'll be Day's choice to start the third.
Left hand tight waist, keeps his weight on the back of Vinson, reaches through the crotch, and he will ride out the second period ahead 6-1. Vinson, Day chooses neutral in the third. Working on each other's for wrist control. Vincent trying to work a Russian tie if he can pull that right arm in on Day. State Liners lead the match 6-0. We began at 103. They collected a forfeit there and moved Cullen Day up to 113. Day spins around at the edge off the mat at 1:26 to go in the third.
The only lights on in the gymnasium are the 4 lights directly above the mat here. The rest is dark. You look in the stands, it's dark all around. You can still see, but again, it's just the center lights over top the mat that are lit.
Day is ranked 8th, according to NJ.com, at 103 pounds, 8th in the state. He's coming off a 6th place finish in last week's Hurricane tournament. In the consolation semis, he gave up a late headlock that decided the match. Off the mat here with a minute to go in the second.
1 minute to wrestle, 1 minute.
Vincent tries to snap down on the head of Day. Day pulling on the right arm of Vincent. State Liner assistant Brad Gensel up and shouting instructions across the way. Day's in on the right leg behind the knee. Vincent locked around the midsection of Day, near the edge of the mat across the way in the visitor stands. Vincent arching his back there off the mat at 33 seconds. We have a scoreboard clock right across from us that's just in front of the scorer's table, and then a clock that's above the basket.
30 seconds, 30.
2 scoreboards behind us, stalling on Vincent, and it's a point for Day. He's up 7-1.
Now he needs a takedown for the major.
Reaches for the right leg with 15 seconds to go. Vincent in on the left leg of Day. And he's behind Day, gets a takedown. Vincent will cut the lead to 7-3. Final 5 seconds. So Cullen Day is off the mat at 0.2 of a second. Day will get a 7-3 decision for Phillipsburg, and the State Liners will go out in front 9-0. Cullen Day picks up his 9th win of the year, and Vincent will drop to 5-8. So at 120, this will be Travis Jones for Phillipsburg. Bound Brook with no one weighed in there.
I go to 120.
So Jones will collect a forfeit.
Crusaders forfeit to Travis Jones.
It is 15-0 Phillipsburg. And now Tyrus Manley will come out at 126. He will collect a forfeit there.
Tyrus Manley.
That makes it 21-0. And now Cody Harrison will bump up to 132 for Phillipsburg. The sophomore 4-2. He collects a forfeit there, the 4th. So that's it for the forfeits, or at least scheduled. And Phillipsburg goes up 27-0. Now at 138, this looks like it'll be Robert Cleary. Yeah, Robert Cleary. He is a senior, 13-3, and Kyle Tino bumps up for Phillipsburg. Tino is a sophomore, 4-4. Cleary is going to be a big favorite here. He was beaten in last year's state semifinals by Brandon Paetzel of Phillipsburg, now at Rutgers. Cleary has a takedown and a 2-0 lead. Cleary driving a half Nelson from the left side. Tino trying to get to his base. Now he picks him up through the crotch. Tries to step through and off the mat. 2-0 lead for Robert Cleary. The senior, a defending district champ. He's a transfer from Edison, district champion, region runner-up, 7th in the state a year ago. A first place finish in the Excalibur tournament and finished 7th in last week's Powerade tournament. And he is ranked 2nd in the state according to NJ.com.
Yeah,
Angelo
from Bergen Catholic is a top-ranked wrestler at that weight. That would be some final to see right now if those two stayed at 138.
Has the left wrist, strong right-hand tight waist, gives up on that. Just under a minute to wrestle in the first. Pulls that left arm across the body, trying to underhook the right shoulder. Wants to turn to now driving a half Nelson from the right side. Reaches inside for the right wrist, gives up on the half, has the left arm barred. Left arm barred, up on his toes, trying to drive that and a half from the right side. Gives up on the half, takes the right wrist. Casey keeping his weight on the back of Kyle Tino with 20 seconds to wrestle here in the first. Cleary on top, 2-0. Not been able to turn Phillipsburg's Kyle Tino so far. There's the wrist and driving the half again from the right side. Now he wants to underhook the right shoulder, gives up on that, takes the right wrist. Final 5 seconds. Stalling warning on Tino right as the first period comes to an end. 2-0, Robbie Cleary. No relation to head coach Sean Cleary. Cleary chooses underneath to start the second.
Coach Cleary mentioned to us that it's got to be bonus points for each wrestler that comes out here for Bound Brook. So Cleary's got a 2-0 advantage right now, just starting the second period as Tino picks him up and brings him to the mat.
Cleary then sits, turns in, pulls a leg back in on Tino. He's going to have a reversal here if he can get control of him. Pulls him back onto the mat. Then he lets him go. They're off the mat. It is 2-1. Or excuse me, it is 3-0 on the escape for Cleary. They will work takedowns. Cleary weighed in at 138.1. Tino at 132.2, giving up 6 pounds. Cleary has the right leg and is behind Tino, has a takedown and leads 5-0. Off the mat, just to our left, in front of the Bound Brook bench. Coach Cleary in his 5th year, 75 wins against 23 defeats. Coach Post of Phillipsburg is looking for a career win 99. He will cut Tino. It is 5-1. Dave Post in his 7th year, 98-17. Working takedowns, just under a minute 15 to go in the second. Cleary with a fireman's carry and takes down Tino to make it 7-1. And they go off, and the escape, it is 7-2. So Cleary's going to try to build to a technical fall from his feet. Double and a takedown to go up 9-2. He will cut Tino. There's the escape from referee Barry Jackson. They're off the mat just under 50 seconds. It's 9-3. Tino circling to his right. Cleary tries to sweep the right leg. Fireman's carry again and takes Tino down to make it 11-3. Across the mat, right hand tight waist. Coach Cleary says cut him. Pushes Tino off the mat and out of bounds. It is 11-4 on the escape with 25 seconds to go. Circling to the right. Tino taps at the head of Cleary. Cleary with a couple of fireman's carries here in this second period, and that's one you don't see too often anymore. Dives at the left leg of Tino. Tino fights that off. There's a stalling call against Tino. Off the mat right in front of our microphones with 5 seconds to go. On the stall, it is 12-3. Circling to the right. Second period ends 12-3. 12-4. Tino underneath in the third, and Cleary will cut him. So it's 12-5. State Liners lead the match 27-0. We're at 138. Bound Brook has forfeited 4 of the first 5 bouts. They're off the mat at 1:47 in the third. Working takedowns. Cleary again pushes Tino off the mat at 1:38. Snaps down in the head. Trying to snap Tino off his feet with a front head and arm. Snaps him down, spins around behind to his right, gets the takedown. Cleary goes up 14-5, pushes Tino away on the escape, 14-6. 1:15 to wrestle. They go off the mat at 1:12.
Well, Phillipsburg would love to see Cleary not be able to build to that technical fall right here. Kyle Tino doing a nice job defensively, just milking the clock a little bit. We're down to 1:05 to go in the third period.
Just trying to save every team point possible. Cleary inside trip for trying to work a spladle. Has Tino on his back. Tino reaching around, hand and a wrist locked behind Cleary's right leg as Cleary tries to set up that spladle again with 40 seconds to go in the bout. That is a 4-point play. It is 18-5. 18-6, excuse me. Gives Tino an escape, 18-7. Gets behind Tino, takes him down, 20-7. Gives him an escape, 20-8. And off the mat they go.
20-8.
Cleary dives in on Tino's left leg behind the knee. Tino trying to sprawl her off the mat with 18 seconds. 20-8, 12-point margin. With 18 seconds. Tino circling to his right, now back to his left. Might get hit for stalling here as they tie up. Under 10 seconds to go. Cleary getting a stalling call and dumps him down for a takedown. And that will be 3. It'll be 23-8 is the final. So they build up to the technical fall right at the buzzer. 27-8 final. And after 6, it is Phillipsburg 27 and Bound Brook 5. Brian Meyer out for Phillipsburg at 145. The junior 10-5. This will be Joe Casey. Yep, Joe Casey's a junior 13-4. Joe Casey is ranked first in the state according to NJ.com, and Brian Meyer is ranked 4th. Meyer tapping at the head of Casey. In on the left leg, picks that leg up. Casey trying to fight that off at the edge of the mat. Meyer trying to pull him back in with the left leg at the knee. Casey trying to reach back for a whizzer. Still no advantage. They've wrestled 30 seconds. A funk move by Casey comes out of it and they're off the mat, no advantage.
Brian Meyer at the same weight he was last year, 145, and Casey's up from 120 pounds. Last year he tech-falled Tyrus Manley at 120 pounds in the match at Phillipsburg, defeated Bound Brook 36-30.
Casey ended up finishing 7th in the state a year ago. No advantage. We've wrestled 45 seconds. State Liners lead the match 27-5 on the strength of 4 forfeits. Off the mat to our right with an even minute to wrestle in the first.
You always hear it's tough to go up 2 weights and do anything in the state the next year. Casey's up 4 weights this year, and he's ranked number 1 in the state. Tells you the quality of wrestler he is.
Wears a big pad on his left knee. It's Meyer and Casey pushing on each other. They go off the mat in front of the State Liner bench across the way at 45 seconds. Casey's a junior, 13-4. Meyer a junior, 10-5. Working on for wrist control. Still no advantage here. Meyer came closest, had a leg, couldn't finish earlier in the first. There's a throw attempted, blocked off by Meyer, and they're off the mat neutral at 23.6. Meyer taps a couple of times at the mat with his left hand, taps at the head of Casey. Casey has alternated between being on his feet and on his left knee. 10 seconds to wrestle here, scoreless first. And we will end the first scoreless at 1:45. It is Meyer's choice. Meyer will go underneath. Meyer finishing 4th in the Hurricane tournament. He is a defending district and region champion. 2nd in last year's Hunterdon Sussex Warren. He stands. Casey trying to pick him up. At the edge, they go off the mat. 13 seconds in. Meyer 20-14 as a freshman, 33-10 last year, 63-29 in his career. Meyer stands. Brought down, puts both hands on the mat, still up on his feet. Casey out the left side. Meyer stands, tries to pry those hands apart, and then trying to hit a standing hazard tilt was Casey. Couldn't do it. They're off the mat at 1:23. Meyer getting set, hands and knees. Casey a little slower walk back to the center. There's a caution on Casey. That's his first. Meyer gets set. Casey, right elbow, left hand tight waist. Casey trying to break down Meyer, grabbing at the left wrist. Meyer stands, and Casey picks that left leg up high. Meyer stands again, trying to pull those hands apart. Meyer comes out to face him. He's got the escape and an ankle pick. Meyer's got a takedown, and he leads 3-0 as they go off the mat.
A nice ankle pick right there by Brian Meyer. All he did was twist Casey's head, exposed the ankle, grabbed the ankle, brought him to the mat, and a 3-0 lead for Brian Meyer.
And that's got the whole student section up on their feet to our right. Casey sits. Meyer trying to pick up on the ankle. Meyer loses him. It is 3-1. Meyer pushing on the head of Casey. Pushes on the head, then taps the mat with his left hand. Casey hanging on the edge as Meyer with half a shot, and they're off the mat at 38.5 seconds. So a very nice ankle pick to give Brian Meyer the lead. Taps at the head. Again, that left hand tap on the mat. Under 30 seconds to wrestle in the second. This is a matchup that Bound Brook controlled. Meyer had to be out there first. Casey trying to spin around to Meyer's left. They're off the mat in front of the Bound Brook bench at 18 and a half seconds. Dave Post with some instructions for Meyer. And Casey showing something to Barry Jackson and wiping at the nose. I think he thought he had some blood. Barry Jackson says, no, we're going to keep wrestling. As they circle to the right. Final 10 seconds of the second. Casey down on that left knee. Reaching behind the head of Meyer. Tries to tie up Meyer's right wrist. Second period ends with Meyer ahead 3-1. It'll be Casey's choice. Casey's going to go underneath. Meyer did not have much success riding him after that second period takedown. Let's see what happens this time.
Meyer's always comfortable in a neutral position anyway. It's just who Brian Meyer has been since he's been with Phillipsburg.
Another caution on on Casey. He's got 2. Casey gets set. Casey is 80-19 in his career, 35-5 as a freshman, 32-10 last year. Meyer picks up both legs. Now Casey to his knees. Casey trying to stand. Casey tries to roll. Meyer stays with him. Brian with a right hand tight waist, reaching across for the upper right arm, keeping his weight on the left side of Casey. 30 seconds gone here in the third. Casey stands, tries to tear at the hands. Meyer picks him up, drops him down. Casey gets to his knees. Meyer working out the left side, flattens him out. Brian Meyer's been a very consistent rider. So far has taken 50 seconds off the clock here in the third. Referee Barry Jackson looking in as Casey stands and Meyer takes him off the mat in 1:02. Brian Meyer back towards the center. Now Casey. Casey, a district champ last year, region champion, finishing second in the Excalibur tournament, 6th last week at Powerade. Tries to sit. Meyer trying to flattens him out. Meyer keeps his weight high on the back of Casey, trying to work on the left wrist. Keeps his weight, has to watch the parallel ride as referee Barry Jackson looks in. Reaching for a crossface, now right hand tight waist, reaches inside for the left wrist. Meyer takes that right wrist across the body, out the left side, under 30 seconds to go in the bout. Meyer with a 3-2 lead in the third. 20 seconds to wrestle. Or a 3-1 lead, I'm sorry. As Meyer with the ride, out the left side. We're down to 10 seconds to go. Meyer trying to bar the left arm. Referee Jackson looking in, reaches inside for the right wrist. Brian Meyer, he'll win it, 3-1. He has knocked off the top-ranked wrestler in the state at 145. 3-1 for Brian Meyer. We are halfway through. It is Phillipsburg 30 and Bound Brook 5.
Well, how many times do you see a wrestling team that's got 30 points on the board, and their biggest win so far tonight was a decision right there by Brian Meyer. Huge win for the State Liners as they up their lead to 30-5 on Bound Brook.
Bound Brook has to be out first. Stefan Glasgow will be out at 152 against Phillipsburg's Jason Zinmeister. So Glasgow will be a big favorite here. Glasgow is a defending state champion. Looking for a bear hug on Zinsmeister as they go off the mat. Glasgow weighs 152.3. He was near a takedown, but Zinsmeister came out of that scramble. Front head and arm now by Glasgow. Spins around to the left side. Zinsmeister spins with him. Glasgow tries to snap down in the head. Trying to shrug Zinsmeister. Zinsmeister blocks him off. Zinsmeister weighs 148.8, and they're off the mat across the way. No advantage. Minute 21 to go in the first.
Glasgow tried a shrug right there, and then he went for a throw with the opposite arm, and Zinsmeister just did a little funk to get out of it, and it's still scoreless with a minute 15 to go in the first.
Glasgow snaps down on Zinsmeister. Pressure on the head. Zinsmeister gets control of that right wrist. No advantage. 1 minute to go, scoreless first. Glasgow in that screen. Now he spins around behind. Glasgow has a takedown and leads 2-0. And he will cut Zinsmeister right away. Cuts him, gets the escape, and then a takedown. And it is 4-1 Glasgow. Cuts Zinsmeister. 4-2. Looking for a bear hug again. And he snaps Zinsmeister to his back. And they're off the mat. That'll be a 4-point play, I believe.
Saying the shoulders were not exposed.
Either that or off the wrestling mat across the way, which we couldn't get a good look at from here. So the takedown makes it 6-2. I thought he started to count back points. Zinsmeister underneath, trailing 6-2. 24 seconds to go in the first. Glasgow chopping at the left wrist. Zinsmeister sits. Glasgow picks him up, brings him down. Controls the right wrist of Zinsmeister. Looks up at the clock, which shows 5 seconds to go. Now wants to bar that right arm. And the first period ends with Stefan Glasgow on top of Phillipsburg's Jason Zinsmeister, 6-2. Glasgow will choose down to start the second. Glasgow is 102-8 in his career. Finished second in the Powerade tournament last week. 9-1 on the season. Ranked first in the state according to NJ.com. Reaches back for a whizzer. Zinsmeister still has Glasgow's right leg. Glasgow tried to work a throw coming out the side door. Glasgow has a reversal and leads 8-2. He will cut Zinsmeister 8-3. Tied up, off the mat they go at a minute 18 here in the second with Glasgow on top 8-2. Stateliners lead the match 30-5. We're in the 8th of 14. Glasgow right in on Zinsmeister. Reaches for the right leg, can't pull it in. They're off the mat. And a stalling warning on Jason Zinsmeister. Zinsmeister in on the right leg of Glasgow, trying to hook that right leg. Funk move by Glasgow out the left side of Zinsmeister, and he has another takedown to lead 10-3. He will cut Zinsmeister 10-4. Takes him down and cuts him. It is 12-5. A couple of these bouts have resulted in takedowns at just about as fast as you can write. Glasgow looking for an inside trip, then picks up the leg of Zinsmeister and takes him down to go up 14-5. He will cut him on the edge, 14-6.
That's 15 takedowns for Brook, 2 for the Stateliners. And if you're just joining us, it's 15 takedowns to 2 in favor of Brook. But on the scoreboard, it's Phillipsburg 30, Brook 5, thanks to 4 forfeits. We began the night at 106. The forfeits came at 106, 120, 126, and 132.
Zinsmeister looking for a cement job around the head of Glasgow. Final 10 seconds. Glasgow with a front head and arm trying to set up a shrug. 2 seconds, 1, and Zinsmeister blocks him off with his right arm. He doesn't get it. So after 2, it is 14-6 in favor of Stefan Glasgow. He chooses neutral to start the third. Glasgow 19-1 as a freshman, 37-5 as a sophomore, 37-1 a year ago. He is in on the right leg and takes down Zinsmeister and trying to turn Zinsmeister to his right. That stop potentially dangerous by referee Barry Jackson. 16-6 in favor of Glasgow. He will cut Zinsmeister. It is 16-7. In on the legs again. Takedown, 18-7. Cuts Zinsmeister, 18-8. Minute and a half to go in the bout. Glasgow trying to tie up the upper left arm of Zinsmeister. He's trying to back out of that as he reaches for a leg. They go off the mat in front of us with 1:19 to go. Tie up. There's near a takedown, spinning behind as Glasgow gets the takedown to go up 20-8. Cuts him. It is 20-9. Left arm, sticks a leg in, trips Zinsmeister. With 53 seconds to wrestle in this one. Zinsmeister keeping the left leg of Glasgow, the right leg rather, can't free it at the edge. Now tries to cross face. Stalemate is called at 36.5 seconds. 20-10 in favor of Stefan Glasgow. Looking for the bear hug. With under 30 seconds to go, misses on the throw, spins around behind, goes up 22-10. Cuts him 22-11, 24. I think Dave Post is saying he never let him go, but he got the call. There's a shrug for a takedown. That may be the technical fall with 5 seconds to go. The final is 24-12. So he has to settle for a major decision. So we are through 8. It is Phillipsburg 30 and Bound Brook 9. 24-12 major. 160. This will be Shamir Brothers for Phillipsburg. And it is Matt Duarte for Bound Brook. Matt Duarte and Shamir Brothers. And Brothers loses his headgear just 10 seconds in. Duarte is a senior, 3-7. Brothers is a junior, 1-3. Brothers gets in on the right leg, trying to go to a double. Duarte trying to snap him down and then spin around to his left. Brothers blocking off, and again, Duarte has hurt his left knee, and the action was stopped. I thought he was waving because Brothers had lost his headgear, but he has hurt his left knee, and he's in some pain right here in the center of the mat. As a Phillipsburg trainer, Dwayne Bryda, has come out to take a look at him, along with Coach Cleary.
I just want to say, in that last match with Stefan Glasgow, they've got a 24-12 for a final. All I know is he was taking him down, letting him up so much. I lost track. I actually had an extra takedown for Glasgow. I had it 26-12. but we're going to go by what the score table says, 24-12. I know you couldn't keep track. We're constantly looking down our score sheet, put takedown, escape.
Well, I did think that the last 2 takedowns came without an escape that was awarded in between. That was my impression. And honestly, with that many takedowns, I don't think you can blame Barry Jackson either. I mean, he certainly had control of the match on his feet.
Yeah, Coach Post was upset that he gave him an escape when he never even had control. I believe that was Coach Post's argument there.
There's a takedown for Duarte. He's able to snap down Broaders to lead 2-0.
Yeah, nice shrug right there by Duarte for the opening takedown.
Right hand tight waist, left elbow. Broaders stands, he comes out, and it's 2-1. Broaders dives in on that double. Again, Duarte tries to flatten him out. Broaders trying to lock his hands behind the right thigh and pick that leg up if he can. Has the hands behind the right thigh, now locks him behind the right knee. Now trying to switch to that double. Dumps down Duarte to a sitting position. Duarte's able to roll through, still no advantage. Broaders still has the left leg. Duarte may be trying to set up a spladle. Broaders' head is caught beneath the legs of Duarte at the edge. Broaders trying to drive through, and spinning around behind for a takedown is Duarte, and he leads 4-1.
Duarte a year ago defeated Chris Ruiz by decision, 11-4.
Trying to tilt Broaders to his left. 15 seconds to go in the first. Duarte trying to bar the left arm of Shamir Broaders. They wanted to walk out in front with that bar. Gave up on that. First period ends 4-1. Matt Duarte of Bound Brook over Phillipsburg's Shamir Broaders. He's still, now again, that right knee. He's trying to limp back to the center. He is limping on that left leg, kind of dragging it back with him as he pulls up the pad in the right knee. Breaks down Broaders, who chose underneath to start the second. Trying to bar the left arm. Maybe trying to work a tilt out the left side with that arm. Broaders stands, and he is out. Broaders has the escape, 4-2. Working takedowns again, which Duarte has countered to get 2 of them. Tries to shrug Broaders on by again. Broaders, hands behind the left thigh, or off the mat in front of us in 1:17.
It's almost like he's cramping up or something out there. He keeps holding right behind the right knee down below. Looks like he's cramping.
Broaders around the head and trying to work on each other's wrist. Duarte was looking for an arm drag. Broaders dives in on that left leg, trying to lock his hands behind that left thigh. Trying to pick up that leg and looking for a spladle is Duarte. Still no advantage here with 45 seconds to go. Broaders trying to pick up and take Duarte over top of him. Still no advantage here. Still no advantage. And there is a takedown for Broaders. Ties the match at 4, and they're off the mat at 34 seconds. Duarte will walk back to the center. He is the taller of the two here at 160 pounds. Duarte's ready. Broaders right hand, tight waist, left elbow. Trying to chop at that left arm. Duarte trying to stand. Rolls, and he is out on the escape. Matt Duarte of Bound Brook with a 5-4 lead. Working takedowns here, final 15 seconds of the second. Duarte has 2, Broaders has 1. Looking for an arm drag was Broaders. That's fought off by Duarte. And we are through 2 with Duarte on top, 5-4. It's his choice. Duarte will go underneath in the third.
Tonight's match is being streamlined by StateLinerSports.com.
Broaders set, right hand tight waist, left elbow. Chops at that left elbow. Chops at it again, and then a roll by Duarte, and it got caught in the roll by Broaders. Broaders has some back points coming.
Broaders needs to watch his weight.
Yeah, he's probably going to give up a reversal here because he's caught underneath. So it is 2-2. 2 back points for Broaders, which gave him a 6-5 lead, and then the reversal, 7-6 in favor of Duarte. Duarte riding out the right side. Broaders stands, he's out, and we have tied the bout at 7. Bout's tied at 7. 1 minute 5 to go in regulation. Stateliners with a 30-9 lead in the match. .50 seconds to go. Duarte trying to snap down on the head of Broaders. Tries to shrug him, then Broaders in on the left leg. Broaders with the left leg, Duarte draped on top. Trying to cross-face, pressure on the head now of Broaders. 30 seconds to go in regulation. Broaders still has the left leg. Duarte is draped over top of Broaders. Still no advantage. Stalemate, or as it stopped because of the headgear of Broaders. Broaders lost his headgear as Duarte was trying to set up that spladle again. We've seen that about 3 times from Bound Brook wrestlers tonight.
If Broaders could come up with this takedown here for the win, it would force Bound Brook then to get 4 falls in the last 4 bouts to tie it at 33 if we went that way, and that's a tough chore there.
Yeah, that would include pinning Horan and Melise. Broaders is in on the right leg. Around the knee. Spladle tried by Duarte. Still no advantage. There's a takedown for Duarte, and he has Broaders on his back. 4 seconds to go. 3, he won't pin him, but he will win the bout. That'll be a 5-point play for Duarte, and he will win it 12-7. So we are through 9. It is Phillipsburg 30 and Bound Brook 12.
Phillipsburg with 6 victories here. They've got 4 forfeits and 2 decisions. Bound Brook with a technical fall, a major, and a decision as we go to 170 pounds.
Makai Lewis, the defending state champ, at 170 against Phillipsburg's Austin Roth. He's a sophomore, 1-6. Lewis has a takedown right at the edge and goes out in front 2-0. Makai Lewis going to Virginia Tech, which he chose over Nebraska and Lehigh. Stefan Glasgow, by the way, is already committed to Rutgers. He has Roth on his back as he has barred the right arm, gets the arm free. That's 3 back points for Makai Lewis. He's out in front 5-0. Lewis is going to try and stack up Roth. Now he's got a tilt, has Roth on his, and a fall. Got the fall off the tilt in 42 seconds. So we are through 10. It is Phillipsburg 30 and Bound Brook 18. And Makai Lewis will go to 16-0 on the season, 134-12 in his career. So it'll be Dan Fisher for Phillipsburg at 182. Fisher is a senior, 4-2. Bound Brook with its choice here of Travis Hayes. That's who I think it'll turn out to be. He's going to give up some weight to Fisher. Ed Mancinelli, the public address announcer, will let us know. No, it's Walton. Okay, so George Walton weighs 180.2. And Dan Fisher 176.4. So Walton is going to be a favorite here. Walton coming off a season 4th in the state a year ago. Walton's a senior, 13-2. So the lead is 30-18 with 4 bouts remaining. But the rest of the press corps, I think, not in agreement with the strategy here. They think that Bound Brook had to send up Walton. Walton has a takedown and leads 2-0. Trying to cradle Fisher. He has a cradle, and he has Fisher on his back, and the fall comes in 53 seconds with a cradle for George Walton. So we're now through 11. It is Phillipsburg 30 and Bound Brook 24. Bound Brook with 2 falls, a technical fall, a major, and a regular decision. Phillipsburg has 4 forfeits and a couple of regular decisions. So Travis Hayes is up at 195. Hayes weighed in at 172, so he barely weighed in at 82, and he will face Andrew Horan. So Hayes is going to give Horan some weight. Horan has the left leg up in the air, dives at the right leg at the edge, now pulls that left leg back onto the mat, has Hayes hopping up and down on the right foot. Horan looking to trip the right if he can. Now grabs the head. Reaching back for a whizzer is Hayes, and there's the takedown for Horan, and he leads 2-0. Horan is a senior, 12-3. And Travis Hayes is a senior, 8-3.
Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. Hayes weighed 172.0, and he's up to 195. So he jumped up 2 weight classes when he was actually weighed in at 72.
Yeah, you're
right.
right.
So he cannot go down to any further than the rest of the season, down to 182. Once you jump to 2 weight classes. Am I correct?
And I think that the state liner coaches were talking before, so they were thinking that Walton might go 70 postseason, and that probably locks that in now, that Hayes can't go any lower. So yeah. Hayes would be 82 postseason, and Walton will be at 70.
Yeah, that would have been better for him to come in at 172.1, go grab an orange or something and eat it real quick.
Horan maintaining control here, out in front, 2-0. Reaches inside for the right wrist. So at 172 and Horan at 192. Actually 192.8, so he's giving Horan 21 pounds. Horan trying to work a tilt. So he's trapped the right wrist, trying to pull that across the body and then tilt Hayes out. Now he's got the left arm barred. Right arm barred, excuse me. Trying to drive that bar as the first period will end with Horan on top, 2-0. Drew Horan, a defending district champ, 4th in the region. He will be underneath to start the second as Hayes deferred. Horan is a Hurricane Tournament champ, a 100 Warren champion, and ranked 3rd in this weight class in the state by NJ.com. Horan rolls. Horan is going to get a reversal and leads 4-0. Reaches inside for the left wrist. Then wants to pick him up through the crotch and put him on his back. Horan now controls the right wrist, chops at that, flattens out Hayes. Weight on the back with 1:25 to wrestle here in the second. Drew Horan in his 4th year as a starter, 20-8 as a freshman, 28-9 as a sophomore, 29-7 a year ago, 12-3 so far this season, 89-27 in his career. They're off the mat across the way. Very good crowd on hand tonight at Stateliners Gym here, at capacity of 2350. We've estimated somewhere between 1,500 and 1,700 here tonight. First home match in the new Phillipsburg Gym in the new high school. Horan with under a minute to go in the second. A 4-0 lead, and riding out the right side. Takes that left wrist, wants to pull it through the crotch, gives up on it. Continues to ride out the right side. Has the left arm at the elbow, controlling that, then trying to pick up Hayes through the crotch and put him on his back. Referee Barry Jackson on one knee, looking in on the action with 25 seconds to wrestle in the second. Horan again picking him up through the crotch and flattens him out. Now he sits on top of that left arm. 10 seconds to go here in the second. Hayes struggles to his knees. Hayes tries to stand. Horan brings him back down. Second period ends with Horan on top, 4-0.
Drew probably can't remember the last time he wrestled a kid at 195 that he had a 20-pound weight advantage on.
Hayes chooses top in the third. Horan is ready. Horan stands right away. Hayes picks him up, drops him down. Horan stands again. Hayes trying to pick him up. Horan to a sitting position, turns in, and Horan has a reversal and leads 6-0. Horan will cut him 6-1. Horan got a takedown in the first. Pair of reversals for his other 4 points. Horan shoots in, and they're off the mat across the way in 1:19. Horan, a 2015 Hunterdon Sussex Warren runner-up, last year a champion, finished 4th in the 2015 Hurricane, in addition to this year's the 2016 championship last week. 1:05 to go here in the bout. They're off with Horan still leading 6-1.
Phillipsburg with 12 dual matches against New Jersey opponents this year. The 2 dual matches against Pennsylvania is Easton and Parkland. And out of the 12 matches, Phillipsburg is going to face 7 teams that are ranked in the top 20. 7 out of 12 dual matches against top 20 opponents, according to NJ.com.
Give you that top 20 list between the next bout. Wrestlers stay neutral here. 40 seconds to go. Horan with half a shot. Hayes fights that off. Now Horan flattens him out. Around the head, spinning around behind. Had a cradle and gives up on that, but gets the takedown. And Horan leads 8-1. He will push him out to make it 8-2 with 24 seconds remaining, trying to get to the major decision. 8-2 Horan. Horan with half a shot. Horan again, half a shot. Hayes blocks him off. Horan dives in on the left leg at the edge of the mat. Hayes trying to dive off. Horan trying to pull him back in. Haran at the edge will not get it with 1.2 seconds to go. 1.2 remaining. And Drew Haran of Phillipsburg will win a regular 8-2 decision, giving Phillipsburg a 33-24 advantage with 2 bouts remaining. Phillipsburg is ranked 6th in the state according to NJ.com. Bound Brook is 10th. 1 through 5, Bergen Catholic, Del Barton, South Plainfield, and DePaul. Paulsboro, number 5. Mike Borgia and Robert Melise will go at it here at 2:20. 7 through 10, and according to NJ.com, Hunterdon Central, Don Bosco Prep, Delsey, and Bound Brook. And then 11 through 15, Howell, Raritan, Hanover Park, Queen of Peace, St. Augustine, and a takedown for Melise, who's on top, 2-0. And then the final 5, Cranford, Middletown North, Del Val, Pope John, and Southern.
And I mentioned we have 7 of the 12, and there's a good chance we could hit Middletown North in the sectionals again like last year. So tough schedule for Phillipsburg. Tough job right now here for Borgia. Borgia last year was defeated by Dan Fisher, 6'3" at 195 pounds, while Robert Melise received a forfeit in the match.
Borgia is a senior, 4'8", weighs 216. Melise is at 218. Melise right-hand tight waist, left elbow. Robert is a pinner, likes to use arm bars. In on the left wrist. State runner-up a year ago, 5th in the state 2 seasons ago. Trying to bar the left arm and reach inside for the right wrist. He has the bar. Up on his toes to drive the bar. Now he's got a double arm bar. Melise steps across, and the fall! In a minute 10 for Robert Melise, who has clinched the match for Phillipsburg. We go to 285 with the State Liners now on top, 39-24. Justin Caraballo for the State Liners at 285, a senior, 4-5. Jervy Sistrunk for Bound Brook, he is a senior, 12-3. Caraballo weighs 269.9. Sistrunk weighs 251.1. Sistrunk got quickly in on a double and has a takedown and a 2-0 lead. Rides out the right side on Caraballo, looking for a cradle. Caraballo is able to fight that off. They're off the mat in front of the State Liner bench. 16 seconds in here the third.
Sistrunk a year ago was forced to go against Kyle Northnagel. Northnagel winner by fall. Again, Phillipsburg defeated Bound Brook 36-30 on January 20th. Here we are January 4th, and Phillipsburg's going to defeat Bound Brook again.
It'll be the third time in the series in the last 3 years. Caraballo is out. It is 2-1. Wrestling takedowns right in the second. Sistrunk just kind of overpowered Caraballo very quickly with that double to start it. He was looking for a bear hug. 50 seconds into the first period. 2-1 lead for Jervy Sistrunk.
With the match now over for Phillipsburg, some of the fans have headed to the exits, figuring they'd get a quick head start as they head out the long driveway here at Phillipsburg High School, heading out to Belvedere Road.
Yeah, there is only one way out, so. And there are parts of the campus where you certainly have a longer walk than others to get to your vehicle, and a longer walk to get out of the gym. Caraballo looking for a bear hug. Sistrunk out of that. 30 seconds to go in the first. 2-1 lead for Jervy Sistrunk of Bound Brook in the orange as he dives in again, kind of overpowered Caraballo with that quick double, but they're off the mat, no advantage. Stateliner assistant coach Brian Kopeski across the way shouting instructions to Caraballo. Dave Post assisted by Scott Silvis, Brad Gensel, Brian Kopeski, and Josh Haynes. Final 10 seconds. Sistrunk diving in on a single. Caraballo sprawls. Caraballo trying to spin around, but first period ends with Sistrunk on top, 2-1. Sistrunk will take underneath to start the second. Phillipsburg will go to 3-0 against New Jersey competition on the season, and 465, 61-1 against New Jersey since 1979-80. Caraballo trying to pick up on the left ankle and flatten out Sistrunk. Sistrunk on his knees. Caraballo is weight up high, chops at the right elbow. Sistrunk rolls, and they're off the mat at 1:38 to go in the second.
Saturday night, Phillipsburg will be going to Cranford, the 16th ranked team in the state of New Jersey. And then a week from tonight, StatelinerSports.com will broadcast Phillipsburg and Hunterdon Central here from the Phillipsburg Gymnasium. Hunterdon Central, 7th in the state. They were 5th. They lost to Brook.
Sistrunk stands, trying to pull those hands apart on Caraballo. Stalling warning on Caraballo. Dave Post saying you got to cut him here. Now he sits down behind him and then gives up a reversal as Sistrunk spins around behind. So a stalling warning on Caraballo, a reversal for Sistrunk, and it's 4-1 in the second. Caraballo stands, tearing at those hands at the edge of the mat. They are off with Sistrunk still in control. Didn't get a chance to mention, by the way, that Robert Melise is currently ranked 3rd in the state at 220. That's behind Joe Sorecco of DePaul and Pete, and I may mispronounce this last name, Asardi of Don Bosco Prep. It's spelled Acciardi. Sistrunk controlling the left wrist of Caraballo, trying to check him back, and he's got a body press. Caraballo trying to bridge. Looking in is referee Barry Jackson, and the fall. It comes in 3 minutes and 11 seconds for Jervy Sistrunk, who checked back Justin Caraballo and got a body press in the fall. So the final is Phillipsburg 39 and Bound-Brook 30. Phillipsburg with 5 falls and/or forfeits. 4 of those forfeits, the fall by Robert Melise, and 3 regular decisions. And Bound-Brook had 3 falls, a technical fall, a major, and 1 regular decision. The house lights come on in a blink of a second at the Phillipsburg High Gymnasium as the fans will start to head for the exits, both above and below. Our wrestling action brought to you tonight on StatelinerSports.com by the Rothman Institute, a worldwide leader in orthopedics, an official orthopedic partner of the NJSIAA. Visit RothmanInstitute.com. By Russo Law Offices, 633 Belvedere Road in Phillipsburg. Proud to support Stateliner Athletics. Visit RussoLawLLC.com. Considering buying or selling your home? Contact Tara Butler at RE/MAX Supreme for all your real estate needs. Call Tara direct at 908-319-2447. By Ahart, Frinzi & Smith, recognized as one of the leading insurance agencies in the United States. Find out more at afsinsurance.com. By ERCO Community Federal Credit Union, with offices on Hillcrest Boulevard in Phillipsburg and at 2240 Northampton Street in Easton. By Open Mic for exclusive coverage of the Stateliners and the entire Hunterdon, Warren, Sussex area. Follow Mike Weileman's blog at mikeopen.blogspot.com. And by Welcome to the Pit, a history of Phillipsburg wrestling is available. Order yours by calling 908-283-4342. And of course, You can follow Phillipsburg Wrestling on Twitter at Pberg HS Wrestling. That's WRESTLIN. Pberg HS Wrestling for updates for Phillipsburg Wrestling on Twitter. So the Stateliners up their record to 3-0 on the season, while Bound Brook will fall to 3-3. We began the match at 106 pounds. Luke Harden came in, picked up a forfeit. Then the Stateliners moved up Cullen Day from 106 to 113, and he won a 7-3 decision over Mark Vinson. Travis Jones collected a forfeit at 120. Tyrus Manley collected a forfeit at 126. And Cody Harrison collected a forfeit at 132. I don't think that Bound Brook intended to forfeit 132, but Carlos Ugaldi weighed in at the weight tonight was 134, and he weighed in at 135.3. So after the first 5 weight classes, Phillipsburg led 27-0. Then at 138, Robert Cleary, state place winner a year ago for Bound Brook, he got the Crusaders on the board. Cleary with a 27-8 technical fall over Phillipsburg's Kyle Tino to make it 27-5 in favor of Bound Brook. Then at 145, Brian Meyer, who came in ranked 4th in the weight class according to NJ.com, picked up a second period escape and a second period ankle pick takedown, surrendered an escape to Joe Casey in the second, but rode him out in the third. Meyer with a 3-1 decision over Casey, another state place winner, 7th a year ago. That gave Phillipsburg a 30-5 lead midway through. 152, defending state champion Stefan Glasgow for Bound Brook. Also a technical fall, or excuse me, a major decision. Major decision, 24-12 over Phillipsburg's Jason Zinsmeister to make it 30-9. Then at 160, Matt Duarte of Bound Brook, a 12-7 decision over Shamir Broaders. At 170, 2-time defending state champion Mackay Lewis of Bound Brook tilted Austin Roth, pinned him in 42 seconds. That made it 30-18. Then at 182, George Walton, a cradle in 53 seconds over Phillipsburg's Dan Fisher. That made it 30-24 with 3 bouts to go, where Andrew Horan at 195, an 8-2 decision over Travis Hayes to make it 33-24 Phillipsburg. And then Robert Malise, the 2-time state place winner, salted it away for the Stateliners, a fall in a minute 10 with a double arm bar over Mike Borgia to make it 39-24. And then at 285, Jervy Sistrunk of Bound Brook checked back Justin Caraballo out of the referee's position, got a fall in 3 minutes and 11 seconds, 39-30. 6th-ranked Phillipsburg over 10th-ranked Bound Brook tonight here at the brand-new Phillipsburg Gymnasium. Phillipsburg with 5 falls and/or forfeits and 3 regular decisions, and Bound Brook with 3 falls, a technical fall, a major, and a regular decision.
Well, you look at Brian Meyer's match. That was biggest match of the night. It was the, we talked about not having a lot of competition with best from one team against the best from the other, but we did it that weight class at 145 tonight. And like you said, that ankle pick was the difference, and then his aggressive riding in the third period prevailed Myers to a 3-1 win, and that put Phillipsburg up at the time 30-5 after 7 bouts, and that was with the 4 forfeits in the first 5 weight classes. Cullen Day, the decision in between them, a 7-3 win over Mark Benson.
You know, talking to Coach Cleary, now, he didn't get specific about which ones he needed, but if they had been able to get 113 and had been able to get 145, they could have pulled it out tonight. But the Stateliners come away with a 39-30 win, and Coach Dave Post has come over to join us. A little longer walk for you now, Coach?
Yeah, a little bit longer walk, and just trying to figure out this whole thing. We wanted to talk with the kids a little bit longer. We looked really good in some spots, but one of the things we just spoke about the kids, and partially the reason why I'm late, is because we don't have a sequence down yet. And I told the kids that that's on me. That's what I'm paid to make sure that every minute before the match is accounted for. We had the weigh-in really late. The team, we weren't. There was no JV match, so things were a little helter-skelter. And we rushed our warm-up. We just didn't. I told the kids in the locker room, we didn't even. Those are things that I'm so type A. I try to have everything planned out. I have 7 years of practices in notebooks that I carry around every day with me. But just getting in, what door to come in, how does this work, how does that work? It's tough to be able to have to feel that out against a team like Bound Brook with the studs that they have. We survived it, and it was we're going to be better for it. That's for sure.
You got a couple of very good efforts moving up. Cullen Day, who gets a win, and then the big one, of course, at 145 with Brian Meyer, because the finals at 39-30, and they turned those two around, and it's a different result tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. We loved where we started. Obviously, anytime you can jump out to a big lead, but we also knew that 113, throwing Cullen out there, that match was going to basically make or break the whole dual meet. And he's very poised. He was upset with himself that he didn't get the bonus point, but that's how our kids are. But he wrestled a very smart match, very tactical, very good finishes, and just didn't put himself in any danger to make sure that we were able to start off on the right note. A lot of times in dual meets, momentum is enormous, and you have the momentum right off the bat like that. Great start, and then Brian Meyer. It just I told him when he was going out there. We played a little video for the kids up in our warm-up area, and it was a Christopher Walken talking about the lion and picking on the lion, and so when you wake the lion up, you're ready to attack, and that's what we told Brian. We played that for him. To really let him have his breakout performance. We talked a lot about Max Elling a couple years ago when he came out and had a breakthrough performance in a match against Bound Brook. It was a huge confidence. I think as you saw that match go on, Brian just got tougher and tougher and tougher, and that's what we preached to him. And he's going to be a force the rest of the year.
He rode out a state place winner who really had no chance to get out in the third.
No, yeah, he was a hammer on top. I think one of the things we were most proud with is the matches that he struggled with at the Beast of the East were that we struggled on bottom. I think probably you could say that they're one of the best there at 145 on top in the state. Obviously one of the best kids in the state, but a huge top wrestler and scores a lot of points from top. And for us to work that hard and get an escape just speaks volumes of how much he's improved in just a couple weeks.
And, of course, the guys that you count on top, came through Drew Horan and Robert Melise with the clinching fall.
Yeah. We said we love where we start because we're going to jump out to a lead, and what better guys to be able to roll out there at the end that just know what we need to do to win the match. And, there's not a better 1-2 punch to end a match with. I can tell you that for a fact. And, we were just really excited about that opportunity. They threw us a little curveball because we certainly had full intentions of going Drew at 220 and Robert at heavyweight, and that's why we paused a little bit before we sent out. It got a little interesting because we didn't expect Walton to stay down. So when he stayed down, we had to make a decision. We took Drew with the size, with the 20-pound weight advantage, and he just wrestled. Those guys, again, they wrestled smart matches and knew what they had to do.
Are you progressing the way you would have liked from the start of practice?
Yeah. What we've looked like in dual meets has been outstanding. Tonight, there were a couple matches there. Certainly, the way we ended, Justin, we thought was going to be a really close duel there, and we just did some silly stuff. And Justin knows that he's very hard on himself. So it'll just be in those matches where we were really mismatched and got beat up a little bit. We got to look at the positives. How we were able to stay in good position, not put ourselves in danger, and grow from that. And that's what makes good dual meet teams.
You have career win 99 tonight. Looking forward to the next one?
Yeah, I'm looking for the next team stay. I'm looking for number 21. I don't care about our individual stuff for me. I want another state championship, and that's what our guys want too. So I want what's best for them.
Congratulations on the win tonight, and we will see you back here next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Dave Post, the head coach of the Stateliners, who with that win tonight ups his mark in his 7th season to 99 wins against 17 losses. So the Stateliners prevailed tonight by the score of 39-30, and Jim, we thought this might be a quick one tonight because of the forfeits and the all the state place winners here. It turned out to be a very entertaining match.
It did. Hour and 25 minutes to this point right now, and I was just talking to athletic director Tom Fisher. He said we were right around 1,800 people in the gym tonight for Phillipsburg's first home match, and 230 students, which he said could not have fit in the pit. So 230 students here tonight, right around 1,800 people. Nice crowd. We were a little low with our estimate, but some people I think snuck in after we started. No JVs, so we started on time. And again, entertaining. Brian Meyer, huge match. But again, it's never about one person. It's always about a team. And Phillipsburg now will have to refocus now and get set for Cranford. And again, we'll be broadcasting next Wednesday here from the Stateliner Gymnasium against Hunterdon Central.
Well, that'll do it tonight from the pit. Our thanks to our supervising broadcast technician, Jared Marcagilli, for his expertise tonight in the brand new gymnasium. Very nice place, folks. Don't hesitate to come out. So that'll wrap it up. Stateliners go to 3-0 in the season, beating Brook tonight by the final score of 39-30. For Jim Meglick, I'm Mike Morris, StatelinerSports.com. Thanks for being with us.